Good Wednesday evening, East Tennessee. My name is David Aldridge, Chief Meteorologist of Captain Accurate Weather, coming to you by way of the Captain Accurate Weather Command Center. I've got a jam-packed full of weather information. I just can't wait to give it to you because you're going to have to make those decisions on how to navigate, whether it be through freezing rain or sleet driving, maybe just some snow driving that you haven't really, maybe you haven't ventured out yet. Maybe you've been out and about many times, and this is all like an old hat. So, but it's going to cover it all. I'm on both Facebook and YouTube. If you're on the call, let me know. You can see it's quiet. We got a lot of color on the map behind me. But what does that mean? There's a teachable moment here. Every time you see this purple, people immediately assume it's snow. But sometimes it can mean freezing rain and sleet with some snow, maybe some ice. And we know what that looked like. Many of you in Sevierville know what that looked like very well on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. Or in White Pine, you might have had a lot of mixing. So mixing can play havoc on getting accumulating snow. And as I've shown you on Facebook and on YouTube, hopefully by now, you've seen at least my snow expectation. It's not that high. It's kind of wimpy because it looks like the horseshoe. We're going to explore that here in just a moment. Let's take a look at the fact. If you're on the call, come back on camera for a second. I want to just check in. Darcy says, loving these lives. Great. Diane says, good evening. If you're on YouTube, I'd love to give you a shout out as I continue to grow this platform. Needed 97 says, hello, beautiful day today, but cold. It was cold. Today was high of 25. I was expecting 26. And we started off at 0. But the official number, there was some temperature issues in Oak Ridge, but they worked it out, it would appear, but they were -2. -2 was Oak Ridge's low. Marilyn Bell says, felt like a heat wave today after lunch. LOL. I like the optimism, right? It was certainly warmer. But let me give you an idea. The Ultimate Doppler Radar, presented by Madlock Tire Service and Auto Repair, East Tennessee's #1 tire shop and auto repair since 1953. They've got locations everywhere. They got them in Knoxville. They're in Maryville, very convenient. Lenoir City. Oh, Lenoir City. Oh, in Athens, McMinn County. There's also a location there. And also in one in Hardin Valley. And many of us, if you don't need a new set of tires, you may need an oil change. And if you want to support me, support Madlock, because he's supporting me. They're all supporting me. So it's like a great thing, because in winter, you need good tires to navigate these roads, and they're not very easy, especially those untreated roads. Not seeing much in the way of storms right now, but a lot of color. Got a hard freeze there in dark purple in the central part of Alabama. Further north we go, we see some lake effect snow showers, just giving you the playing field in the Great Lakes, and also some snow still in Iowa. It's like Iowa never ends with the snow and the cold. They've got more advisories there, and it's quiet across much of Texas tonight, but it was certainly a wintry situation. But we have a winter weather advisory that lasts until 7 p.m. on the 19th, and that's Friday. So that'll last till 7 p.m. What does that mean exactly? Well, let me break it down for you. And again, if you have the Captain Accurate Weather app, what's great about the app is that all you have to do is tap on your city or town, and you'll suddenly get this kind of text. Let me see if you can see that. See, all the text is really, it's if you don't want to kind of squint and see that, I did the heavy lifting here, right? So let me go back on screen. We got up to an inch of snow to as much as a tenth of an inch of ice. So you're going to see a lot of mixing in the valley. Maybe a little bit more the way of accumulation. From Nashville, they feel the same way. That starts at noon Central Time, Nashville, for Thursday, a lot sooner, and lasts till 9 a.m. Central on Friday. So the start and stop times depend on what county you're in. Keep in mind, Cumberland, Fentress County are governed by the National Weather Service in Nashville. But our start and stop time is at the top of the banner. It says winter weather advisories, 7 p.m. Thursday, 7 p.m. Friday. That's an interesting thing. One starts at noon, well, really 1 o'clock Eastern, but noon's East Central, and one starts at 7. That's a big difference. That's 6 hours, right? Big difference. And that's why I suspect the starting time may be fluid. It might be like 3 to 6 when it starts to roll in. Might start sooner, much sooner for the plateau. So be prepared for some changes as the precipitation will vary. Now, they did expect gusts up to 45 for the Smokies and snowfall up to 4 inches with a glaze of ice. But all that information can be found on the Captain Accurate Weather. I'd like you to see what the Weather Service is seeing. Now, this is what I see. This is my expectation, because all my forecasts are independently made, as many of you know that by now. I'm not trying to toe somebody's line. I'm just saying there's a horseshoe effect here, and that's due to temperature and elevation. Now, if we get 0, okay, it's the horseshoe effect. You've lived in Knoxville. Most of the time when we talk about snow, people are like, oh, we didn't get anything. Well, it's because we're in the valley. We're kind of like in the bottom of the crater in some speaks. But Middlesboro, they've got the name. They own that, right? Crater City is Middlesboro, Bell County. But they will get some snow. I think Middlesboro could easily get 1 to 3 inches of snow by the time we hit Friday evening. Because, again, this is going to be a 2-day issue. So with ice, some freezing rain, sleet, Moving in, I expect no snow for Nyota, no snow for Decatur, no snow for Etowah. Maybe a few flurries, maybe. Half inch to 2 inches for many of the Smokies, but 2 to 5 for maybe the higher peaks like Clingman's Dome, and about 2 to 5 in parts of, say, Bell and Harlan counties. There could be some higher terrain, 2 to 5. Does that help? I hope I'm trying to do my best to give you the idea. And some people still will scratch their head and wonder why? Because you don't live at 6,000 feet like Clingman's Dome. Why do they get 5 inches? Well, because they're higher up. And if you were around here a couple days ago, we got 8.5 in Knoxville. That also burst the bubble to those that say, Knoxville never gets snow. Really? That's funny. You haven't been here the last couple days because we did. We got some snow. It all depends on the track. Those 3 T's, temperature, track, timing. But I do want to show you the elevation for that reason. And tomorrow, yes, we're going to do this wedge thing again, where we get some warm air in the mid-levels, and that's going to create more freezing rain and sleet. Freezing rain is just plain old rain. It looks like rain, smells like rain. It freezes on contact. And that can be very dicey for drivers. That's going to add another little mix to the element, or the element to the mix, to make things more challenging. That's why I want you to be prepared, because if you're driving tomorrow in freezing rain, it may look like this. Well, minus the icy word in the street there. How did that get there? Anyway, you want to reduce your speed. That's a tip. Avoid driving if at all possible. That's a big tip. And avoid sudden stops. Because if you're sliding, your wheels might turn in different directions and then start fishtailing. So avoid hills and steep inclines. Those are some safety tips if you're driving in freezing rain. If you're driving in sleet, another word for that, or another words for that would be icy pellets or ice pellets. And it looks like it makes a little noise, like ding, 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 ding on the windshield. And you start, what is that? Sleet. That's what that is. And you want to avoid driving if at all possible. Reduce your speed. Same type of tips. Avoid hills and steep inclines. If you're on the call, I'd love to hear what you've got to say. I'm looking at YouTube. Han Solo Rider. Love that name. Please, no more snow. Give me good news. And Steven Snyder says, good evening. We're going back from winter to spring here. He's got a Texas perspective. And Marilyn Bell says it felt like a heat wave. Back to Facebook we go. Check it in with Audrey. She says, I'm glad I shoveled my driveway, but she says in all caps, I'm tired. I know exactly how you feel. I overslept this morning. I know exactly how you feel. Anyway, it was heavy, she says. I believe it. John Standridge says, will the rain help melt the snow tomorrow? I'm sure it will, because temperatures tomorrow should be in the upper 30s. Some of you may push 40, but there's enough snow cover still on the ground. I think upper 30s, more realistic tomorrow. When can they expect the rain to start? Looking for that 3 to 6 time frame, 3 to 5. As it rolls in from west to east. And any snow in Seymour, we're going to talk about that. We've already kind of covered. I don't expect much at all, right? 0 to a ½ inch plus. That's generous. How many times have they said during a horseshoe event, you're going to get some snow, and we got nothing? That's what we're going to hear. That's all I'm going to hear tomorrow. We got nothing. And I'm going to show you graphically what that nothing looks like that might make you say, oh, okay, now I understand. But meanwhile, we've got snow across Missouri, Iowa this evening. Got some clouds building across Indiana. But we've had mostly clear, or will have mostly clear skies tonight. Our low temperatures, in case you missed it, it was, in fact, -8 in Middlesboro, Crater City. It was -9 this morning in Oneida, 7 below in Crossville, 8 below in Jamestown, and Oak Ridge came in at -2. Yes, I know, I was expecting -3, so you were off a couple of degrees. But, you know, it's kind of gradual. It just depends on how quickly the skies cleared, and many of us did see some single digits this morning. Tonight won't be quite still cold, still frigid, but won't be quite like these numbers at all. Our high temperature today hit 25, our normal high 48. I put the times on there because sometimes people ask me, well, what time did we hit that? That happened at 4:23 this afternoon. We hit 25. And we hit 0 at 6:22. Isn't it nice to have a McGee-Tyson Airport that keeps such great records? They're awesome. The record low this morning, -5. I shared that with you from 1982. That was a long time ago. High temperature today hit 25 in Middlesboro. There was a big recovery today from single digits and sub-zero temperatures. I believe Monticello, Wayne County, that's just north of Jamestown. They were at -22. They're exceedingly colder than their neighbors usually, but that was unusually cold at -22. 27 was the high today in Tellico Plains, Madisonville 23, Crossville. And if we look around the state, temperatures hit 31 in Chattanooga. There was a high of 23 in Johnson City. Let's keep moving because I got a lot of ground to cover. And I know your time is precious here. Temperature right now at this hour, it is now 8:41, and I hope to be done before 9 o'clock. 17 degrees in Oak Ridge, 14 in Morristown. These are our current readings. If we keep dropping, and I suspect we will, but you'll notice the red arrows. See, it's a southwest wind. so it won't be as cold or as Arctic cold as it was this morning. I expect we'll be closer anywhere from 6 to 9 for many of us tonight, as we'll be dropping. And it may be a little milder to the west, so Crossville might be actually milder than Knoxville tonight. Wind speeds aren't moving much at all, but where we have a wind, it feels like it's about 8 right now in Oneida, feels like 19 in Newport, and feels like 10 in Crossville in the heart of Cumberland County. Any wind gusts, you really have to focus on the Smokies. Not a whole lot of wind gusts at this hour, but I talked about those wind chills. Certainly very cold when it feels like 8. Now we're 6 degrees warmer now than we were this time last night. And Jamestown checking in at 12 degrees warmer now than they were this time last night. So again, for context, I like to show it. And then temperatures right now, 19 in Johnson City. It's 26 in Chattanooga, and you'll see these little red arrows. That's the southwest wind. It's a warm weather direction, so it is trying to bring in some milder air. Headlines here at 8:43. Frigid air tonight, again. Snow rain mix in the afternoon on Thursday from west to east, and then snow showers and flurries persist on Friday, but in the horseshoe configuration. So keep the expectation low. This is not a repeat of what we had on MLK Jr. Day, not by any stretch. Keeping an eye on these notes here, Cheryl Harris says, no freezing rain, please. But I can tell you what, the pavement temperatures are going to still be pretty cold. If you throw in some freezing rain, I mean, even tomorrow morning, 8 a.m., you got temperatures in the teens on the pavement, the roads. They may warm up at noon into the lower 40s, and then 5 o'clock. So there's going to be additional melting happening over time. And again, air temperature should be in the upper 30s tomorrow, but Friday it gets cold again and the Arctic blast continues into the weekend. So I would really urge you, continue dripping the faucets tonight. Continue opening the cabinets. I know it may be a pain, or you keep hitting your knees on it when you try and get a glass from the cupboard. Kitchen cabinets and bathroom cabinets, please keep them, because that'll help avoid frozen pipes. Just trying to keep things safe. Open the kitchen and bathroom cabinets, and don't leave your heat any lower than 55 degrees if you're leaving your house. Just a smart move. You don't want to do that, and avoid frozen pipes. Temperature right now, 21 Knoxville. You can see it's actually getting a little bit, quote-unquote, milder. They're only at 3 in Bismarck rather than negative 12 like we saw in Des Moines a couple of days ago. And El Paso, and I'm looking at Miami, they're 61 and 71, so there is some warm air, but it's a far cry from here. And the Futurecast shows winter's just getting started. I've been driving that home ad nauseum on premium. I know a lot of my team snow lovers probably love it. My team spring premium members probably don't want to hear this, but when you see purple, that's usually single-digit wind chills, teens and 20s. It's just tough. Single digits. And it continues into the weekend in the morning on Saturday night, Sunday morning. So the cold Arctic blast. But then eventually when things warm up, there's the possibility of severe weather. If we start bringing in the Gulf of Mexico, some humid air, we may see some showers and thunderstorms on the stronger side, and then it just rotates back around because it's do-si-do back to the cold purple as it comes into February and into Groundhog Day. So right now we're at what time? It is now 8:45. The temperature at McGee-Tyson is 21. And we have no wind at the moment. Dew point is 12. Want to check in with you real quick. I see Burl says, thanks very much. Gardner Fritz says, when do you expect most of the winter mist to melt and disappear so we can return to our regular routine? Spring, maybe March. I mean, this pattern is here to stay. I mean, there will be some ebb and flow. We got temperatures, what I have, mid-40s by Tuesday, and even low 50s on Wednesday next week. But eventually, some stronger storms will be coming in from the south and west. Cray says, good evening, 17 degrees in Cookeville. And Austin Moore says, think we will have another Big Daddy storm similar to the one we just had. Austin, I would have you direct that question to any of my premium members, because I posted some what's the next big thing post that goes all the way out into well into February. And if they see if they shared with you what they saw, the answer would be yes, yes, and yes. We not only have one chance for another Big Daddy storm, we got 2 or 3. There's more southern sliders in our future, and I do think it'll be in time. So if you are wanting to be in the know, if you want to know what's going on, check it out. Just all you have to do is hit the subscribe button at the top of this Facebook page, or just go to CaptainAccurate.com. Now this is what I really want you to see. And I'm saving the best for last, if that hopefully keeps you in tune, because you're going to want to see the closer up snow totals potentially going into tomorrow and mainly on Friday. But this shows you at 7 a.m. tomorrow, there's not a whole lot going on. Everyone's like, well, what's going on at noon? Nothing. Looks like noon, it's like nothing. But if you look westward, there's a little pink mix around Nashville, or at least Bowling Green. Let's take it to 1:45. Oh, now it's snowing in the afternoon. This is probably one of the faster solutions that I'm seeing. But the green is rain, the pink is a mix, and the blue is snow. But I can guarantee you what we're going to see is kind of a hodgepodge of everything. So you're not going to know exactly what's falling. It's like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Just ask Marilyn Bell. She was in White Pine. She experienced the mix. Or maybe Kayla, who was out in Sevierville. She's like, all I got was a mix on MLK Junior Day. And that's what I think we're going to find initially. There's some rain, 2:30. Let's go to 3:30. Still raining. And then by this point, I think by 4:30, there's a little bit of a mix. And you go, oh, man, I thought we were getting some snow. Hang on. It's not done. But I'm just saying this is the first part. This is before the front comes through. Because the front's still back west of Missouri. See that low? That's where the front is. But look, it's a mix. It's an ugly, about 1/10 of an inch, maybe up to 1/10. I'd say 5/100 of an inch of freezing rain, then some sleet, changing back to rain, changing back to snow. It's a mess. 5:30. So if you're on the roads, that's why I gave you some driving tips. Just avoid the roads altogether if you can. Get all your errands done tomorrow morning if you can. There's 6:30. It's back to rain. And you go, oh, this was so overblown. I mean, I thought we were getting this, that, and the other. Most of my snow, if you saw my map, is up in Kentucky and up toward maybe the plateau. There's 9:45. The pretty much system's slowing down as far as the activity because by the time you wake up maybe at 6 a.m. Friday, there's nothing going on. Oh, what a bust. Not yet. Don't ever criticize a forecast until the event's over. Because some of you got some decent snows. We got 1.9 inches Monday night into Tuesday morning. And some of you made up for the loss that you had from the mix, right? From this past event. So look at what's going on. Nothing going on at 6 a.m. Friday. And everybody's kind of thrown in the towel and thought the weatherman blew it. But then all of a sudden, shazam, 7:15. Shazam, 8 a.m. Snowflakes. Oh my goodness, it's snowing, everybody. It's 9 a.m. I thought it was done. Nope, it's not done. There's probably a horseshoe effect here. And it looks like it's favoring places like the Smokies, certainly in northeast Tennessee, and in eastern, southeastern Kentucky. By 11 a.m., it looks like it's waning, like there's not much left. It's like it's played its course, but it's still snowing in places like Middlesboro, possibly Monticello, maybe even toward Jamestown. Even 2 o'clock, you're like, is it ever going to get to the valley? It's done. It's pretty much around the horn, and it's gone. And then 4 or 5 o'clock, and it's done. And it will continue. Look at this. Here's Friday night. This is why I got 2 to 5 for the Smokies, because at 7 o'clock Friday, it's still snowing. At 7 a.m. on Saturday, it's still flurrying. So there's still some snow activity even into the day on Saturday, which is why I'm going to continue to see that snow pile up as long as the flow of air pushes it from the north and west. So here's where the best is yet to come. Stay with me. Frigid air, some fog. Record low tonight, 0. We're nowhere near that. But I wanted to give you context. Mostly clear skies tonight. Some fog, patches of freezing fog may develop. 6 is what I expect for Knoxville, but a low of 11 in Crossville. You'll notice it's a little milder where it was a little colder this morning. About 14 for Tellico Plains, 14 for Sevierville, about 8 for Maryville. And we won't be there for very long because we've had a southwest wind moving tonight about 0 to 5 miles per hour. 38 the high temperature tomorrow, hazy Sunday clouds. Afternoon snow and rain mix. Variable winds southwest 3 to 8. It is now 8:50. I'm going to finish well before 9. But Thursday, here's what I expect tomorrow. 39 for La Follette, the high temperature. Could easily eclipse 40 or 45 for Tellico Plains and Madisonville, and about 42 for Sevierville, 40 for Newport, and 36 for Wartburg. These are my expected highs. But here's where the fun begins. Let me show you some raw data. All right? Now fasten your seatbelt because I'm going to put a pin to the balloon. It's going to go out. Right? Oh my goodness, that shows a full inch. Doesn't take into account the mixing. Doesn't take into account the mixing. I do believe it's a lot lower than this. So this is one extreme, right? And that's why I said this is the best that you have to come if you're a snow lover. You say, oh, we're getting this, that, and the other. This was a factor for me in my forecast. But let me show you some other data, right? And I'm going to show you the same time frame, different algorithms, different set of equations, but they show a very different picture as far as the snow. It's like less than this and that. It's like flurries or a nuisance. So if you took a combination, it's like, what is it, Goldilocks? One's too much, one's too little. This is what I think is actually just right. So this is my forecast, 1 to 3 for southeast Kentucky. Some areas in Kentucky could get up to 5 in the higher terrain. 1/2 inch to 2 for Jamestown, Crossville. Icing will be the front end of the day, it's the front of the afternoon, because Thursday afternoon is when this begins. No snow for Nyota, no snow for Decatur, no snow for Etowah, but Knoxville could anywhere from 1/2 inch or less, emphasis on less. I think you'll be most pleased, if you're not a team snow person, you'll be pleased that if this actually verifies. Very little, in fact, is going to come out. And I still have the the 8-day to show. But I want to check in with your notes if you've got some comments. See, both are too much. Miranda says, Sarah, Miss Banis. Alicia Ellison says, me too. And Miranda says, so Pigeon Forge should be a miss. Pigeon Forge mostly is going to be higher up. But you're going to be more that half-inch or less, emphasis on less, I think, over time. Thank you, Christy, for sending me some stars. I do appreciate that. The equipment that I'm showing you does have a cost, so that's where that goes, and I do appreciate it. Ed says, good morning, good evening. Let the snow go away for others to play. He's ready for spring. And Zach Reagan wants to know when it will start. Generally tomorrow afternoon. It's from west to east. I have Knoxville generally about 3 to 5 p.m. is when this will likely begin. If you're on YouTube, I got some new people on here, I think. Well, a new comment. Han Solo Writer says there was a major ice storm in Knoxville back in the 80s. I don't remember the exact date, but it was a big deal. This is not that big of a deal. You're looking at, I think, 500ths. That's 0.05 inches of freezing rain. Enough to cause a problem. Enough to have some bridges and overpasses be extra icy during an afternoon commute tomorrow. And the Weather Service says up to a tenth of an inch of ice. So if you look at this map that's behind me, and we'll take a full screen, again, we're looking at maybe some additional accumulation in those blue areas for Friday night. So 2 to 5 plus certainly is going to be interesting to see, because I'm sure the pictures from Mount LeConte will be interesting by Saturday morning, no doubt. But the horseshoe effect, due to elevation and temperature, will be in effect tomorrow and tomorrow night. Now, the 7-day forecast. Here we go. We got an 80% chance. I didn't put that in there, but that's an 80% chance in between. There it popped up. Frigid on tonight. Frigid again this weekend. There's no question. I think by Saturday night, with mostly clear skies Sunday, we're going to fall like a rock back to around 4. 10 is the low on Monday, but at least we're in the 40s on Tuesday. But it's going to come with more cloud cover. It's not like a sunny 45 or a sunny 52, but it will be milder with rain showers on Wednesday, and may get even warmer as we head into the 25th, 26th of January. I know there's still a lot of winter still to play out. That's why I encourage you to check us out on the Captain Accurate Premium site, because you're not only the first to see my snow forecast, but there's going to be a lot of more snow events where you're going to be asking the same questions. When does it start? How much am I going to get? Oh, no. How much am I going to get? That's what most people ask. And it's a lot easier to answer if you're in the know. And it's a way for me to stay rooted here in Knoxville. So give me support. Just check it out at $4.99 a month. That's it. That's the price of a cup of coffee, either at Dunkin' Donuts or Starbucks. It's pretty cheap. It's the best bargain in weather in East Tennessee, in my view. You're getting 2 streams of information on the same Facebook page, the premium side as well as my side. And plus, I can brag about my winter outlook. Somebody had noted that I've got the only winter weather outlook that hasn't busted yet, right? Because one snow event took out everybody else, according to Diane. So I'm very interested in that. But if you are wanting to see that, that's a 15-minute video. It was made before Halloween. It's still online. Just check us out at CaptainAccurate.com or hit the subscribe button. My name is David Aldridge. Some people call me Captain Accurate, and it's not easy being accurate. So weather doesn't surprise you. We'll see you here next time. Take care.